So a few weeks ago, I posted this video talking about if the Porsche 944 Turbo was the supercar of the 80s that you've never heard of. And at the end of the video, I concluded that the 944 Turbo is not a supercar, but rather has the potential to be a supercar killer if you add the right mods. And this one right here has done that. So today, I'm gonna be showing you how this 944 Turbo is the supercar killer of the 80s that you never saw coming. So when I last did this video, I compared a 1986 944 Turbo to the likes of a 1986 Ferrari 328 GTS and a 1986 Porsche 911 Turbo or 930. Now I still will be comparing the stats of this car to the likes of the Ferrari and the Porsche, but this time I have a checklist of 4 things we need to do in order to test the performance on this 944 Turbo. Before we do any of that though, we need to go over the modifications first to make sure that this car is actually going to stand a chance. So I have Dom here, the owner, and he's gonna be going over every single modification that he's done to this car, so that way we can see, is it actually gonna be a supercar killer?
So the things that I have done to this car, first off, started with a full engine rebuild. So it's got ARP rod bolts, 3-piece Cometic head gasket, bigger 54mm K27 turbo with a Vitesse MAF kit, a 950cc Bosch injectors, Lindsay Racing fuel rail, and just other bolt-ons, including a 3-inch downpipe, 4-inch exhaust, and dual port wastegate. For the suspension and wheels, we have ground control coilovers with top mount camber plates, and the wheels are Kanisi K27s wrapped in Advan Apex tires. The car is originally Guards Red, but it is wrapped Rufus Red Metallic, made by Vinyl Frog.
So now that we know what mods are on this car, it's actually time to start the testing. And the first test is gonna be the dyno session.
Over here!
So the car blew up. Unfortunately, while we were on the dyno session, Dom's car started leaking oil onto the exhaust manifold, which had some heat wrap on it, and unfortunately it caught fire. And to add fuel to the fire, quite literally, his coolant tank had exploded, pretty much. But we've made it to a safe location. Dom's car is safe and sound. But for the remainder of this video, unfortunately, we can't go testing this car like we thought we could. So we're gonna go over the dyno specs, and then for the 0 to 60 time, I'm just gonna have to calculate it online. So the total amount of wheel horsepower that this 944 Turbo was able to put down was 327. Honestly, that's right around what we were expecting for this car to make, just considering all of the mods it has done to the engine. And then also 944 Turbo stock only had about 217 to 220 horsepower, depending on which one you got. So this one has over 100 horsepower gain at the wheels, let alone the crank. And when we compare those numbers to the 911 and Ferrari of the last video, this one is making a lot more. So much so that I would almost compare it to the Lamborghini of the time. So for 0 to 60 time, since we can no longer test the car, I'm gonna be using carspecs.us. It's a website that I found that should be able to calculate this to a rough estimate. But I am going to take this with a grain of salt just because it's going off this and not actually testing the car or the driver's capabilities. So when we put in 327 horsepower at 3,000 pounds and it's rear wheel drive and it's a manual, we get a 0 to 60 time of 4.4 seconds flat. When we compare that to the Ferrari and the 911 from a few weeks ago, obviously this is doing much faster, but we have to take that with a grain of salt. But if I was to argue it, I would say that this one is much faster than those. So for handling, I not only wanted to see if it can make this power, but also if it can make it in the corners. Now, since this car has blown up, we can't actually go test it anymore. But for handling, really, I'll just say this. It is still a 944 turbo. It still has that 50 to 50 weight distribution, but now it has way more power than a stock 944 turbo. And with the upgraded suspension, it's definitely gonna handle a lot better. But to give you a better idea, here are some track times and the track they were completed at with this car. But just to sum up handling, I would say it's extremely good. So after running this 944 turbo through the test, I think we can not only conclude that this was a supercar killer of the 80s, but also this has become a sleeper of the modern age. While this one only makes 327 horsepower, it still is relatively light compared to other cars. And when you pair both of those things with the 50-50 weight distribution, you have yourselves a real performance car. But I do think it is very fair to conclude that the 944 turbo is the supercar killer of the 80s. Now, while it might not be the most reliable one, I think we can still conclude it. So that's gonna be all I have for you guys today on this 944 Turbo, and I do hope you really enjoyed this as a sequel to the video I did a couple weeks ago. Because I truly believe that the 944 Turbo, while it might not be a supercar, is definitely a supercar killer. And a huge thank you to Dom for letting me use this vehicle this entire time. It's an absolute blast of a car to be in, and seeing it on the dyno was awesome. So please go give Dom some love. Here is his Instagram handle right here if you wanna check out this car. I will also have it linked down below in the description as well. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like down below and share it with your friends, and click subscribe because there's gonna be plenty more videos where this came from. But again, that's all I have here for you guys today, and I'll see you next week. So drive safe, and I love you guys.